believe that it's the Maoist hand behind the train blast. We don't know the truth. The investigations are still going on, and even if the West Bengal CID comes out, there'll be a lot of question marks. Why? Because of the past and recent past. It's the same CID which came out, which was involved in, by the way, in the Rizwanur. I mean, that had nothing to do with political violence and the issue of Maoist insurgency and things like that. It was a simple case of a Muslim boy marrying a Hindu girl, right? The role of the CID was no different then. They were pretty convinced that Rizwanur was guilty as hell, and that he committed suicide when he was found out. Chhatrahar Mahato, when he was arrested, the DG of police of West Bengal had come out in public, in press conference, declared that Chhatrahar Mahato, who was the leader of PCPA, had admitted that he has an insurance worth more than 1 crore and he owns at least 3 to 4 houses in West Bengal, Orissa and Jharkhand. 3 months later, the police declared that they had found no evidence, and that his insurance is worth no more than 50,000, a little more than that, between 50,000 and 1 crore. But these kind of exaggerations do happen. Police do plant stories. When there is a war going on against the Maoists, there would be an attempt and attributing every crime that is committed, every war crime that is committed to them. It doesn't mean that they're lily white and pure. No, they have committed crimes. But the issue that we have to raise is, and go beyond these crimes that get committed, we have to ask fundamental questions. Why is it the Indian state takes recourse to war? Why? What is it that is driving them? And what is it that allows them to wage war with nobody raising question and nobody giving a damn? I mean, just look at it. In Kashmir, so much has happened. And until 2008, we had declared, we were telling and preaching the Kashmiris, give up your armed resistance, give up militancy, and the Indian middle classes and the Indian intelligence and the Indian political elite will accept and start negotiating and accept whatever you want to, whatever are your demands. What happened? No sooner they gave up their armed militancy, the Indian middle class, the corporate media, the political elite turned and showed their back and said, now normalcy has been restored. Brilliant, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Killings can take place, rapes can take place, disappearances can take place. We remain unmoved. We are non-violent. So we can't even get shaken by all these violent crimes that are committed in our name in Jammu and Kashmir or Northeast, and today in the 7 states or what is central India. It doesn't really matter to us. So it is an utter lie when we say that we Indians, by tendency, by natural inclination, believe in non-violence. I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't believe in it, I don't subscribe to it. There is no evidence to support it beyond the point. Because nobody has been able to, if we were so opposed to it, then we would have managed to stop these wars from taking place in our country and addressing these issues as they deserve to be addressed across the table through negotiations in a democratic and just manner. Right of self-determination is an inalienable right. Heavens are not going to fall if you grant that right, if you respect that right for people in Jammu and Kashmir and for Northeast. But we won't do that. We would like to crush them. How dare you think in terms of destroying and disintegrating Mother India that we have grown up with? I'm sorry. If we cannot accept peaceful political resolutions of crisis, people will pick up arms. You may not like it, you may like to condemn it, doesn't matter. They will, and they will fight. Now what the hell are we going to do about it? This is what confronts us today. You may like Maoist, you may not like it, it doesn't matter. They're there. You can't turn your back, you can't forget it. Government of India has declared that they're the single biggest threat to internal security. What are you going to do about it? Wipe them all out? And who are these Maoists? Who are these Maoists? Have they dropped from heaven? Have they come from Mars? Have they come from somewhere outside? Have they traveled in boats and landed in the Indian shores? No. These are like people like you and me. They are Indians. The point is, what position do we take? How do we look upon it? How do we look upon this war, this latest war that has been foisted on us by Government of India? Please make no mistake. It has been claimed, and a lot of well-meaning people also believe, the Maoists have brought this upon themselves. Why? Because they believe in violent overthrow of the system. Is that right? Is that really correct? Is that how this movement began? Is this what we know of 43 years? I mean, they have been with us for 43 years. Is this what we know of this movement? I think it's time, now that this war has been foisted, for us to devote little time, energy, and shed some sweat to try and understand what has happened in the last 43 years. What? Why? Why has armed revolution become something which became acceptable, which was it was an argument which could be persuasively advocated and people could be convinced of it within the party? It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen unchallenged. It didn't happen without debate and discussions. There are moments through which this movement has gone. In 71, when the Eastern Command deployed 45,000 of Indian soldiers in West Bengal to crush the Naxalites, what did they have at that point? What weapons did they possess? Shivraj Patil, the much abused Home Minister, much maligned also. I like him for just one single reason: he did nothing. I was very happy with that. He did nothing. Sometimes not doing anything is actually serving a purpose. On the Naxal issue, he did not do anything. Thank God for it. But anyway, he is known to have made a statement on the floor of Parliament on 1st March 2006, very laid out. He said when the Naxals began, all that they had were axes, some country pistols, and maybe a rifle or two. Over the years, they've amassed different weapons. In 71, this is what they had. They didn't have AK-47s, they did not have IEDs, they did not have mortars or rocket launchers or any such thing. But 45,000 Eastern Command soldiers had to be deployed. Why? Because anybody who challenges the system, and were they at all in a position to challenge and overthrow the system in 1971? The most ardent supporters of Naxalbari movement would not believe that that was possible in 1960s and 1971. And please remember that the Naxalbari movement began in 1966 after a gap of 14 years. For 46 to 52, the Telangana struggle was on, which was crushed with the help of military. That was the first war launched by the Government of India against our people. It was in Telangana. From 52 to 66 is a record of 14 years of not a single violent struggle launched by the communist revolutionaries. It's in 66, failing to achieve land reform. Land was the issue. That section of the CPM membership revolted. That is the history. You and I, some of us may believe in armed overthrow, but our belief doesn't matter. Are we capable of doing it? That is the question we have to pose. In 1960s and 70s, they were not in a position yet, and nobody protested against it. We are Indians, non-violent. It didn't matter to us if few hundred, 13,000, 20,000, 30,000 people die. People die in this country after all. Now, how does it matter if 30,000 Naxals or youth were killed? It doesn't bother us. Hypocrites as we are, I believe, and I'm very angry. Let me tell you, I get damn mad when I think about our culpability, the way in which we have actually acquiesced in all these wars that the government has launched against our people. We have acquiesced in it. We are guilty as hell. And when Kashmiris privately share their anger with us, they share their hatred also. And I quite understand it. If I was